Companies are seeing impacts from the stock market plunge after the tariffs announcement, of course.
With fallout from President Trump's trade war, his tariffs sent shockwaves through the market. Stocks had their biggest one-day loss in 5 years. It's been since the pandemic. More than $3 trillion of value was wiped out. The worst one-day losses for the S&P and 500 and the NASDAQ since 2020. Of course, concerns are growing about the impact on businesses and consumers. Trevor Ault is on Wall Street with the latest. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, George. And this harsh drop in the markets is only fueling fears of a potential recession. JP Morgan analysts have now updated their chance of a recession this year to 60%, meaning they think it's more likely than not. And we have seen stocks get heavily slashed since these tariffs were made official, and it seems like the bleeding may not stop anytime soon.
Please, Mr. President, the bleeding is too much. I will say you will keep bleeding. You'll say so much winning. You'll say, Mr. President, please, no more winning. I'll say, no, we're going to keep winning.
This morning, the widespread fallout from President Trump's sweeping tariffs. The stock market losing $2.5 trillion in value Thursday.
Bro, by the way, look, I'm not one of these like anarchist style lefties.
Tariffs.
Okay.
The stock market.
But money is so fake. I'm sorry. I'm done with this whole. Okay. It's so fucking made up. Dude, it is money is the most made up thing. Money throughout the history of mankind, money has never been as made up as it is right now. Okay. $2.5 trillion in value wiped out overnight, and your day is the same. If money was real, if this was real, people would be killing themselves. People would be literally grabbing the pitchforks to murder one another with pitchforks. And because they don't have anything else. No more commodities are being produced. It's a dead halt. Okay? It's just like, you can never convince me. You can never convince me that money is real. You will never be able to convince me that money is real. I mean, this is the other reason why I said that. Yeah, one of these men did not attend the inauguration, okay? Elon Musk lost $11 billion. Jeff Bezos lost $15.9 billion. Mark Zuckerberg, $17.9 billion. Warren Buffett, only $2.57 billion, okay? And it's like, I'm sorry, dude. That's just nothing. That's not real. We need to stop this. We need to stop entertaining this stuff, okay? We need to go back to the barter system. We need to go back to the gold standard. I don't know. It's just something different, okay? No, everyone's getting poorer. Everyone's getting poorer. Why do Democrats fall back on the same tired message as the situation changes and the rich get richer? Oh, not the working rich. To the many investors coming into the United States and investing massive amounts of money, my policies will never change. This is a great time to get rich, richer than ever before. Yeah. And Chuck Schumer said, and the rich get richer. And Josh Barrow said, no. It's a fire sale for billionaires. What are these people smoking? Not yet. But yes. Call me Donald with the way she plunging on my stock. Nice. That's a good one. Peach jars. Yeah, I suspect that Chuck Schumer is talking about, yes, the tax cuts that are incoming, or even the fact that like this presents an opportunity for wealthy people who will now consolidate even further, engage in even further consolidation of wealth. So this is the best edit yet. I watched this. Yeah, I watched this earlier.
You may even get tired of winning. You'll say, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And we're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, it's too much winning.
But it's also, yo, low key, a lot of you guys in this chat, okay, are middle class, you're working a job, you're not at the age where you're even like thinking about your retirement, but you're looking at your 401k and it's like bleeding, right? This also kind of goes back to the idea that I'm talking about here about money being fake, where it's like your life was already and now your future is right? Like in the future, you suspect it'll be more. That's the only thing that changed. Like your life as of this moment, has not gotten significantly worse. It probably will as a consequence of people's purchasing power diminishing, and then companies engaging in layoffs, and which will then obviously make the situation even less manageable. All of these things are slated to happen in the future, but it's like there's not even a bank run taking place. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all designed in a way where this is freaking fake, dude. I woke up and jacked off exactly the same as last week. Is consolidation of wealth really what's happening? I feel like there's easier ways for the president of America to do that. Yeah, I don't think that this is intentional to like make a wealth consolidation happen. I don't think he's like intentionally applying this market shock so his like buddies can come in and sweep everything else. That's just a normal part of the process, I think. As a normal part of the process, it's just what happens. But yeah, my index funds are in the bin. I'm 23 and no 401k. Is that okay? Can't do a bank run when there's no money to take out. Yeah, banks are out of money. The comments here had me really sad the other day. What is this? Something is very wrong with America. Elderly servers in her 70s and she can hardly walk. The table next to this woman asked why she was still working, and she said she only makes $910 a month on Social Security, and she has to still work because her bills exceed $910 a month. Yeah, let's help her retire. $250,000 raised so far. Yeah, this is it, dude. This is the future. The future is like one lucky member of the peasant class, one lucky member of the peasantry will get the rest of the peasantry to raise funds so they can actually retire in a normal, with like normal finances, as opposed to a government funded initiative that will allow everyone to have that same opportunity. It's fantastic. We can feel good about it too. Yeah, the GoFundMe-fication of social safety nets is crazy. Did they get rid of the FDIC yet, or is my money still safe in the bank? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, things are not great, to say the least. I mean, this is the Hamas logo, okay? The New York Stock Exchange is Hamas. Donald Trump is Hamas, okay? Ironically, he did a BDS on Israel. He is doing Hamas. He is doing Hamas to the American stock market, the America stock market.
Losing $2.5 trillion in value Thursday.
Yeah, 6% is the latest number that we're at. As of 6 minutes ago, SPX index down almost 6%. Holy baloney. God damn. You're seemingly in a good mood today. The vibes are immaculate, brother. Yeah, I'm just doing me. I'm focusing on me. You know what I mean? It's just, that's part of it. You know, I'm working out. The weather is nice. I have to maintain a positive, cheerful attitude.
The worst single-day plunge since the pandemic lockdowns 5 years ago. Multinational corporations with manufacturing in Asia, like Apple, tumbling more than 9%. Dell, Best Buy, and Nike dropping around 15% or more. And now, as more tariffs are set to go into effect at midnight, many companies are already reeling.
I think there's something very funny about Donald Trump getting his experts to compile this like 200-page foreign trade barriers, estimation report, and then not using those foreign trade barriers that were calculated in the actual calculation, because the actual calculation is much simpler, which also is a story from Washington Post. Scoop from Jeff Stein. President Trump personally selected the now widely mocked formula for determining the country's specific tariffs from a menu of options, multiple sources say. Numerous Trump aides at NEC, CEA, Commerce, USTR had 4 weeks been working, crafting country-specific tariffs that took into account a broad range of tariff and non-tariff barriers. Several sources said more sophisticated approaches had been developed. It's actually not that hard to develop a more sophisticated approach. Doing nothing would probably be a more sophisticated approach to, as opposed to what Trump did. So, like, literally, if they were just like, "Hey, Mr. President, how about we don't do anything?" If that was the approach that he took, that would be more sophisticated. They didn't do that. They took the least sophisticated route, which is All of those trade barriers that are in that booklet are irrelevant to the calculation here. The calculation here, the calculation here is entirely done by looking at the deficit, okay? Looking at the trade deficit and deciding on the arbitrary designation of how much tariffs these countries have applied to us. Oh, I'm sorry, do you not want to purchase our F-150s because they don't fit in your roads? Guess what, dude? Sucks to suck. You're not buying enough from us, okay? Madagascar, why are you not getting our gas cars? That's a trade deficit. That's a tariff. We've decided a trade deficit is a tariff. And that's precisely how we're going to operate going forward, okay? Yeah, Madagascar, how about gas cars? Okay, specifically Ford, okay, or Chevy, one of them. I can't confirm precisely who authored the one Trump picked. We have suspicions. It might be ChatGPT, but it bears striking similarities to the methods previously backed publicly by Peter Navarro, as I've talked about before. Peter Navarro is the ultimate China hawk. He's Mr. Steal Your Tariffs. He's Mr. Disrupt the Global Economy. He's Mr. We need to decouple from China. And he's Trump's top guy. He's Trump's bravest soldier, most loyal soldier on this, at the forefront of this kind of activity. So Trump is doing it. He's doing the dang thing. The definitive story of Trump's whirlwind trade direction. And here's what they said. Oh, sorry, this was a scoop, not from Jeff Stein. It's from Natalie Allison, Michael Birnbaum, Kat Zacharowski, and led by Amy E. Gardner, all at the Washington Post. He's at the peak of just not giving a bleep anymore, said a White House official with knowledge of Trump's thinking. Bad news stories, doesn't give a bleep. He is going to do what he's going to do. He's going to do what he promised to do on the campaign trail. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. That's not good. Not good at all, because he promised a lot of awful shit, okay? Are you surprised to see that Switch 2 pre-orders are delayed because of this? No. Why would I be surprised about that? Of course not. The random Twitter user who figured this out an hour after the announcement and you doubt it is vindicated? Absolutely. I apologize to that Twitter user. It just, I still was operating on the old boundaries and the old ways of thinking, which is that sounds entirely too simple-minded. And I'm sorry that 2 days ago, if I was looking at the situation and you were to tell me that the Trump administration is so stupid that they would create arbitrary designations that expand far beyond like trade barriers and claiming that like a VAT tax, like a value added tax, is actually a trade barrier or a functional tariff or whatever. Like, if you were to ask me that, I'd be like, yeah, those are the reasons why they're just slapping on these fake numbers. It can't be so stupid that they did this. Look at the trade deficit calculation and decided that is the tariff, decided that is considered a tariff, because it's not. It's an entirely separate thing. Okay. Yeah, I would have said that's too stupid for the Trump administration. And boy, was I wrong. And I'm here to admit when I'm wrong. Okay. I am here to admit to you when I'm in the wrong. This is one of those moments. The Trump administration is that stupid. It turns out they're that stupid. Like, for me, I looked at the situation and I thought, there's no way. This is the American empire. Everything I've known. I'm not a nothing ever happens kind of guy, but when it comes to this kind of shit, nothing does indeed ever happen, because the entire purpose of the American empire is to maintain this hegemonic status and maintain global trade, this intricate web that we have designed in order to permanently exploit the global south so that our labor aristocracy can get the treats at low costs. Yeah, no degree. He's just that stupid. Yeah. He does not have a PhD in macroeconomics. He is just that stupid. All right. That's precisely what's going on. Respect. Because things are happening. Okay. Things are happening at an alarming rate. Things are happening so goddamn hard that the nothing ever happens guys are going, oh my God, things are finally happening. Holy we were so wrong. Now, the reason why they're saying that is because, as I've maintained this position, things are happening all the time, all around the world. It just never comes back here. It never comes back here to happen to you in your neighborhood. It doesn't hurt the suburbs of Connecticut. Things don't happen there. Things are happening in Guatemala. Things are happening in Yemen. Things are happening in Gaza. It's just things are not happening in, Idaho. And finally, things are happening in Idaho, it seems. And yeah, interesting stuff. Very cool, very interesting, cool zone that's going on in the United States of America. Holy baloney.
Affected midnight, many companies are already reeling. Restoration Hardware stock plummeted 40%. The CEO reacting in real time on an earnings call.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I just looked at the screen.
No, is this good?
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I just looked at the screen. I hadn't looked at it. It got hit when I think the tariffs came out.
Economic anxieties are also rippling through the auto industry, now facing...
Dude. The photos coming from the New York Stock Exchange floor yesterday are insane. There is a little bit of catharsis here. I'm sorry. Like, there is a moment of vindication, I think, for people like myself, because we look at like how heavily financialized our global marketplace is, and the ramifications of that are so severe. So when you look at like all the loyal peons that have upheld the system, and you watch them in shock, in true utter horror, that like one singular baboon-brained can just destroy everything for them in ways that they never could have comprehended, coming from not left field, but right field. All of a sudden, there's like a moment of catharsis, like where you're like, well, how about you guys feel this a little bit? You know what I mean? How about you feel this pain a little bit? Because for the average American, this is a daily part of the problem. Now, of course, the way that the stock market works, obviously the gains are privatized and the losses are socialized. So like you're way harder than everybody else. Make no mistake. But I think like it's almost like a Luigi Mangione moment. I feel like Donald Trump is the Luigi Mangione of finance a little bit, where he just basically domed the stock market, and Americans were like, well, yeah, my 401k is done, but also like there's a little bit of catharsis, I think. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm reading it incorrectly. Maybe I'm wrong, but at least like amongst normie people that I talk to, it does kind of feel like everything is really messed up, isn't it, huh? Oh, well, because their shit's already, you know what I mean? Their shit's already to a severe degree, and people are genuinely fearful about what is to come next. I don't think a lot of people understand how devastating this will be. Obviously, I've talked about it quite a bit, about like what the impact of this is going to look like for sure. But because like inflation is terrifying people, but in all of that, I think there are some people who are just going like, okay, well, like this was already pretty bad and it's getting worse. What the do I do about it? My portfolio is dying. I put my money into historically safe investments and it's being obliterated. Help. Yeah. Dude, the stock market has a father and a husband. Show some respect. We made it through COVID. We be all right. Like, it is such a wild set of circumstances that has unfolded. It is such a wild situation ahead of us that the New York Times is talking about maybe these international manufacturing hubs will actually lower their prices to make sure that the American public doesn't eat too much of that cost. There will always be a price increase. Tariffs means automatic price increases, but maybe the suffering will be a little bit less. Now, the other side of the story is that if you want to fix that trade deficit, if you're the United States of America and you're the consumption engine of the global economy, it's going to be quite difficult for you to turn that around. Like, what are you supposed to do? What are the people of Madagascar supposed to do? What are the people in Cambodia supposed to do? Are they supposed to just like purchase whatever the we make here? Like, I don't understand. That's truly a thing that I'm having a hard time coming to terms with, because like it seems like he wants to bring manufacturing back to the United States of America without actually building the infrastructure to do that, which is psychotic. It's not gonna happen. 2, he wants to decouple trade from China and even other like secondary manufacturing hubs that China has moved into because they know that Donald Trump has been aggressively pursuing the tariff policy against China. So Chinese manufacturers, due to living standards improving too much in China, and also because of those tariffs, have moved their manufacturing hub to like Vietnam and stuff. And they are Vietnam over as a consequence of that as well. America's doing that. So what are these countries supposed to do? Like what are they supposed to do? Like what can they do to fix the trade deficit? Because as it stands, we don't have the manufacturing power. We do not have the manufacturing power right now. So even if for Donald Trump, in his perfect vision, for Donald Trump's perfect vision to become reality, America would need to overnight open up endless factories, facilities with incredible amounts of foreign capital and investment coming in, right? And not like Hyundai facilities, because like Hyundai has opened up facilities, but they're not technically made in America. So like he wants to take that out as well. Like he wants all of these other companies to basically go away, to not be able to sell to the United States of America. And then he wants those countries to purchase from us, but we don't have supplies. We don't have the facilities. We don't have the infrastructure as it stands. So even if you built the infrastructure overnight, which is impossible, it's physically impossible, it's not going to happen, then what? We just start manufacturing all this stuff and they have to buy it at our price point? Like how that expectation is so stupid. Everything that I'm talking about would require at least in the most expeditious manner, Chinese style, command economy, central planning style, eminent domain, moving the labor force around aggressively without any sort of political repercussions. That, with all of that in mind, that's a 10-year plan, minimum. America does not even have the skeleton to be able to do this. America does not have the backbone to be able to do this. America has never done this unless it was like World War II. That's the last time we were able to do that, okay? So, like, yeah, they tax Lesotho. What are they supposed to do? Lesotho, you need to buy what we make in the United States of America. We're not making right now, but when we do, you need to buy it. But we're gonna tax you anyway. Lesotho, all the countries. Do you understand why it's kind of funny and very frustrating to look at what the hell's going on around the world, you know? Lesotho. We don't have the industrial base as it stands. We don't even know if we have the labor power to be able to do this. And we broke it first with the hopes that we can build that, but with no incentive structure to build it anyway. Because the furthest that in these past couple of decades, the furthest along we've ever been in terms of bringing back manufacturing into the United States of America was Build Back Better, IRA, and the CHIPS Act. All Brandonian regime moves. And that was a day late and $1 too short to begin with, because that was done within the confines of neoliberalism. Trump is not even doing that. Trump is not even doing that at all. He's just breaking it with no intention, seemingly, of fixing it at all in the aftermath. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And like, we laugh about the stupidity because like, oh my God, they put tariffs on penguins. And it's like, yeah, they did. They did put tariffs on penguins because they're that stupid. It just, and not only are they that stupid, they're not even trying to shelter you from their stupidity. They're like, yeah, we're this stupid. What are you going to do about it? Yeah, I'm the dumbest guy you know. I'm the biggest dumbass you've ever met. And what the are you going to do about it? All the other dumbasses voted for me, and I'm going to do this. Sucks to suck. That's the situation in front of us right now. That's where we're at.